All right, so we're going to jump right into this. Tyre Sampson. I was on Facebook and I came across this video and it pissed me off. I wasn't even prepared for what I was going to see because I wasn't even aware of the story. All right. 14-year-old falls to his death at Icon Park in Orlando. And I gotta say this, there's going to be many lawsuits, and it doesn't just stop at Icon Park. It's also on these social media platforms that allow his death to just be seen constantly, over and over and over again. People are profiting off of this young man's death. YouTube, Google is making money off of this young man's death because they're getting views. It's disgusting that it is even still allowed. Various outlets are making money off of this young man's death. And this is what pisses me off. This is the double standard of Google, YouTube. This is the shit that irritates me. You can't curse without fear that your video will be demonetized due to the COPPA Act protecting children. But when it comes to a 14-year-old falling to his death, there is no give a damn, and we will have many videos available for you to see this. And his family has to see this. This is why I say that it is important to have people that are actually qualified to work those roller coaster rides, because what they do, even if it seems like it's nothing, it's a very big deal. They are responsible to ensuring that the people that are riding on these rides are safe. Their lives are on the line. And it is important that you have actual qualified people. And not only that, but it's important that you have people not only checking to make sure that everybody that is riding is safe and everybody is strapped in and everybody is okay. You need someone to also follow up right behind the people that checked to make sure that they did everything to protocol and they did everything that they were supposed to do to make sure that everybody that is riding is safe, because it's a big deal. It is very important. Whenever lives are on the line, it is important that you have people checking the people that are checking. In any field, in any capacity, it is important. I don't care if it's at an amusement park. I don't care if we're talking about law enforcement. I don't care if we're talking about healthcare professionals. We need people to follow up with the people that are following up with the people. Whenever you're dealing with a human life, we cannot have any holes in it. We can never have any holes in it. And this should not have happened. But the sad part is, this happens every year. There's someone, when roller coaster season starts and everybody starts going to the amusement parks and everything else, someone is going to die. Someone is going to get hurt. Someone. And things still aren't changing and it goes back to making sure that these people are in these rides. Because even at the end of the video, the lady who was, I guess, one of his co-workers, the guy who was checking to make sure everybody was supposed to be in the ride safely, right? Even she asked, did y'all actually check? Did y'all actually check? There should never be a question if people actually checked. That should never be the question. Did you actually check? What it should have been is, I know that they checked because I also checked. Someone needs to also be held accountable for holding them accountable. It should have just started and stopped with the people that were working right there. There should be more people involved with all of the rides. With all of the rides, because this happens all the time, every season. When I was a kid, we had issues with Kings Island, okay? Kings Island, and their thing was Son of the Beast. Son of the Beast had a lot of issues, and if you ever want to look up Son of the Beast, if you're not familiar with Son of the Beast, look up, there's a video about that ride. right? And my family, we went to Kings Island. It was my first time going. And of course, everybody was excited to go on the Son of the Beast ride, right? And when you're a kid, you're not seeing the bigger picture. You're just seeing the fun. You know, I was about his age at that time. You know, you're just seeing the fun. Maybe 13, 14, right? You just see the fun of it all, but you're not seeing the bigger picture of things, right? You just want to get on the ride and have fun. And I got on Son of the Beast. You know, I wasn't even aware of all the issues and things that they were having, because Kings Island kept it quiet for a long time, actually. All of the issues that they were having with Son of the Beast and all the lawsuits that they were having with that ride, associated with that ride, right? We get on this ride, and when we get on the ride, everything seems all right, you know. But then when we dip and then we turn on the ride, it starts to rattle. And it starts to rattle because we're just rocking back and forth like crazy on the ride, right? And then that was the entire ride. Rocking back and forth, sliding, slipping and sliding. And we were in our seats. But this ride was dangerous in itself. When we got off that ride, our ribs were in pain. Our necks were in pain. Our shoulders were in pain. People were groaning in pain when they got off that ride. That's how bad the ride was. A few days later, someone died on that same ride because there were so many red flags with this ride. It's been red flags, right? So for people who are saying that when you're 13, 14 years old, you should know better, this is another situation of not looking at it from the stance of when you were a kid. You see the fun of it all. That's what you're seeing, fun. He was a kid, 14. He may have been a big kid, but he still was a kid, and it is not his responsibility to know if that ride was dangerous or not. It was the responsibility of the workers to make sure that he was safe. He was a kid, regardless of his height, regardless of his weight. He was a child. And it is not his responsibility to know if that ride was too dangerous for him to be on or not. That is the responsibility of the staff that is supposed to be qualified enough to know better. But that is why it's important to up the standards of who is working these rides. It's important. We have to change something. Because the same issues that I had at his age with being on a ride that honestly should never have been opened back up to the public, and they waited till someone lost their life to finally say, okay, we're going to close it down again. Okay? They're still doing the same thing. Fast forward, what, 15 years later? Almost 15 years later, and we're still dealing with the same thing. This is ridiculous. It is freaking ridiculous. So yes, lawsuits need to be handed out to Icon Park, to YouTube, to all of these social media platforms that allow his death to just circulate all over the place, and they make money off of it. It is disgusting.